TIAA Bank Field in Jacksonville, Florida. It's a special prime time edition of the NFL on EA Sports. As we'll see Matthew Stafford and the Jacksonville Jaguars versus Aaron Rodgers and the Seattle Seahawks.
EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to the Sunshine State in TIAA Bank Field here in Jacksonville. Coming up, we've got what should prove to be a good one between the Seattle Seahawks and the Jacksonville Jaguars. The kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. Takes it at the 7. Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32. So here's the first drive now for the Jags. They'll be led out by last year's Super Bowl champion QB in his 14th NFL season now out of Georgia, Matthew Stafford.
And Matthew Stafford was taken first overall in the 2009 draft, and he certainly played like a top pick. Throughout his career, he's been one of the most prolific passers in the league, and there's no reason to believe he's going to slow down his production anytime soon. Not only that, he's also one of the tougher quarterbacks in the league as well.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. They'll start on the ground with Montgomery, and they are not going to let him turn the corner. Some serious pressure right out of the gate. It's a loss of 4 on that first play, and it's 2nd down.
Well, it's almost football 101 that you preach to your safeties. Don't let anyone get behind you. You're the last line of defense. But he didn't let the play come to him. He went to the play. How about that read and recognition and finishing off that one behind the line of scrimmage?
So the first play of the drive lost 4. Now they'll look to move it forward here on 2nd and 14. To throw is Stafford. Catch is made by Hunter Renfrow. And to the 36-yard line, taken down there after getting 8 yards.
Slant route's effective no matter who's running the route and catching the ball. But when you have a receiver of that stature, you have to be a little bit more precise throwing it. You don't have the same catch radius with the bigger targets.
This defense looking for an early stop. This is 3rd down and 6. He finds his target. It's Schultz. And he'll be taken down, but he does have 1st down yardage. That's good for 9 yards as they convert on the 3rd down play.
Many different ways to create space, but on that play, he did it with that big, wide body of his. Didn't get a whole lot of yardage on the play, but it did what it was supposed to. Pick up a 1st down.
Now a 1st down throw, Stafford. And that'll be incomplete. David Montgomery, the target out of the backfield. And now it's 2nd down.
You can tell they wanted to get that ball downfield, but they had nothing working in the secondary, so he dropped it off to the running back. That one ended up incomplete.
So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10. Stafford. Pressure comes. He's taken down by the Seahawk defense. Tanner Muse It'll go as a loss of about 8 as he gets in there to drop him. They sent him on the blitz from that linebacker spot, and boy, he got there quickly.
He certainly did, and obviously he could have used a block from his running back, but I think you nailed it right there. The defender got into the backfield so fast, it's hard for anyone to react.
And the Seahawks add a couple of extra DBs going with the dime look here.
Indeed, 6 on the field. Stafford now to throw. He finds his man, complete. That's Schultz. Their opening drive here is going to result in a punt. They got 7 yards there, but not enough.
Brandon, a good idea there on 3rd down. Run a little clear out and hope you can get your receiver the ball coming across the formation. Nice design, but well played defensively, and they stop him well short.
Fourth down, and out comes Jordan Stout here to punt. And a nice special teams job here. This is going to be down inside the 10 at the 7-yard line.
Someone's going to be happy with that effort. You know who else is going to be happy? His defense.
Absolutely.
He's created a very long field for that offense to try to traverse.
And he got some help from Mr. Football there, checking up nicely. Good English on that punt. So here are the Seahawks now with a long field in front of them. Bringing him out is the future Hall of Famer, now in his 18th NFL season, Aaron Rodgers.
So this is where we find out about the game plan and the trust factor, don't we? In this situation, the natural thing is take care of the ball, run it inside, everyone cover it. Just, get yourself some room and let your punter punt it out of there. But when you really got a QB you can trust, you might want to take a little shot early and try and create some space.
They run on first down, but it only produces a gain of 2. It's 2nd down now.
They suspected it was a power play up the middle coming at them, and boy, were they right. That defense got downhill in a hurry and limited them to just a couple on first down.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. From the gun, it's Rodgers. Got a man, it's Patterson, complete. And they'll bring him down right around the 13. It'll go as a gain of 4. And that's going to lead to a 3rd down.
Well, offensively, that's the mismatch that you want. You want to force a linebacker to try and cover your back out of the backfield, out in some open space. But linebackers nowadays, they run like backs, and they take a lot of pride in covering. What a nice play he made there in the open field.
Open man, there is Patterson, complete. And he is going to have a Seahawks first down by about 3 yards or so as they wind up getting 7 there on 3rd and 4. Well, we know he can run the football too, but he's a good pass catcher, and that's been on display here, Charles, on this opening drive.
And we certainly have seen the benefits of what he did in the offseason, which was spend more time with wide receivers, working on routes, working on cuts, in order to make himself a more complete running back and even more of a threat downfield.
They show run with 3 tight ends here on first down. 1st and 10, it's Patterson. Fights forward for only about a yard up to the 21.
No doubt about it. A really nice job there by the defense, not allowing him to get to the perimeter. But that means your defensive ends, your outside linebackers, the guys that you pay big money to sack the quarterback, they also have to have interest in the running game as well. And they did a nice job there of holding the point of attack and not giving ground.
Second and 9 now from the 21. Now Rodgers. And that's going to be caught downfield by Brown. And they'll get it all the way up about 5 yards shy of midfield. That one covers 24 yards. It's a first down.
Well, from their point of view, this game could not be starting out much better, could it? Force a punt on defense, and now they're moving it crisply on offense.
Crisply, I like that.
Like
yeah,
that?
Yeah, moving it very, very well. Looks like the defense on their heels a little bit. You put a score in here, long way to go, but you're right, that's a heck of a start.
Yeah, and I think this is where the play caller is looking at his play sheet and saying, do I have that dagger play? Do I have that play and just finish them off right now? Because I think they'd love to gain that big advantage early.
On play action, Rodgers looking for A.J. Brown again, and he's got it again. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. Back-to-back receptions for him, and it's another first down. Well, they clearly wanted to come out, Charles, and be aggressive throwing the football, and they've been pretty efficient along with that aggressiveness. He's now 4 of 4 on this opening drive.
Yeah, and that's led to a fresh set of downs. I like what he's doing back there. You can tell he's at ease, feels good about what he's doing. And I think if I'm the play caller, I'm reading that, and I'm continuing to let him throw the football.
So in Jacksonville territory now. Here's a 1st and 10 down at the 31. Throwing now is Rodgers. That's complete to Justin Jefferson. And he is out of bounds inside the 30. Second and 6. Here's Rodgers. Got an open man. That's David Njoku, the tight end. And they're going to get this down to about the 17-yard line here. And forget about the run to set up the pass. They're just coming out throwing.
Forget trying to set anything up. They feel like they have the advantage. They feel like they have the matchups, and they're just attacking right now.
Yep, going to the air on the opening drive. Now Patterson. And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent game.
The last run got 6, now 2nd and 4. Play action. Now it's Rodgers. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest one is maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. Zero accountability, and a sack resulted.
And the Jags have 5 in the secondary here on 3rd down. 3rd down, here's Patterson. And he'll get inside the 10, but he's short of the line he needed. That'll be good for 6, but now it's 4th down. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him. So when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
They'll go for it. It's Rodgers. This is caught. Touchdown, Seahawks. A.J. Brown, a 9-yard touchdown grab. And the Seahawks go coast to coast and finish the drive off with 6 points. An ideal start for them, really. You force the punt, and then you go down and score.
And you've got to see a fist pump on the sideline from the head coach, don't you? Because he's turned into his bench, and he's telling his team, this is how we prepare. Force the punt, go downfield and score. I told you guys, it's just like a boxer in the gym preparing for the fight. Now we get to turn it all loose.
Extra point attempt here still to come. And this will give the Seahawks a 7-0 lead. That one in the books as a 12-play drive. And it's capped off by an A.J. Brown touchdown. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. Takes it at the 7. And they'll get him down inside the 30 at the 27. So time to see Jacksonville again on offense for the second time here in this game. Over on the sideline, hoping to hit that reset button between possessions. Last time out, they had to punt it away. This time, hoping to finish this thing off in the end zone. On 1st and 10, Stafford. Now a loose football. The ball comes out, and the Seahawks have picked it up. Loose inside the 30, and he'll return it to the 24-yard line.
We have seen this before, and we know coaches preach about this and work on it all the time. Catch the ball. You know there's going to be some traffic somewhere. They've got to put it away and secure it as they try and get downfield.
Seattle's offense coming back onto the field, ready for their second drive. They'll be looking to duplicate that first drive, the one that got them that 7-0 lead.
Of course they would. I mean, look, they're on the road. So getting the 7-0 lead was huge for them, right? Imagine getting up 2 touchdowns on the road, taking the crowd out of the game. That'd be ideal.
Patterson running between the tackles. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. On the stop was Aaron Donald.
The running lanes have definitely not been there for him here in the first half, and I don't think it's all been his fault. His offensive line hasn't given him much space. A loss results there.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10. On 2nd down, a run with Patterson. And he'll lose yardage here. Going down back at the 28. That 2nd down play nets a -4.
Sometimes you just sit back and marvel at what he can do defensively. Speed, strength, quickness. He's the whole package. And that package just wrapped up the runner for a loss.
The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is 3rd and long. Working from the gun, Rodgers. That one a little too high as it's knocked away and incomplete.
That's going to hurt a bit because they needed to come through with a completion there. Now a drive that started with great field position is facing 4th down.
Field goal coming from Younghoe Koo. Spotted at the left hash, this from 45. Koo knocks this one through the post, and that will extend their lead even further. So the fumble recovery had them set up in ideal field position, but they can muster only 3 points out of it.
Yeah, when you're able to force turnovers, especially when it results in field position like they had, you really want to make it hurt. Here, they take the field goal. That's definitely not what they were hoping for.
So after the made field goal, 10-0 here early as the kick's away. Takes it at the 7. And they will wrangle him down a couple yards shy of the 30. And now out come the Jags. They'll look to get something started. They need to, down 10-0 early as they've got it 1st and 10. Now Stafford. And his throw is incomplete.
A lot of times it's that first read that you have. Maybe you get it in pre-snap, and he locked in on his target, but he was covered quite well, and that one's incomplete.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Stafford. This is the tight end fan. And only able to get 2 here. Stopped at the 30.
Oh, it's time to give more credit there to the defense. They played that very well because it was a drag route, and he ran a little shallower than normal as he worked straight across the field. He was hoping he'd get lost behind the defensive line, but once he made the catch, nowhere to turn upfield and gain any yardage.
Throwing on 3rd down, Stafford. And the Seahawks defense gets to him, and they bring him down. That's sacked by Khalil Mack.
Well, obviously the pass rush gets the glory and the statistics on this play, but the coverage, they deserve a ton of credit too. Denied open windows, erased the quarterback's targets one by one. Everywhere he looked, someone was covered. Only a matter of time before someone got there to bring him down.
Out now is a punter, Jordan Stout. That'll be a 41-yard punt, just 1 yard on the return. And it'll be Seahawk football, 1st and 10. And Seattle now ready to march out of the field. They're looking sharp, out early to a 10-zip lead and looking for more as they've got it 1st and 10. Here's Rodgers to throw. This one complete to Jerry Jeudy. And getting this just shy of midfield, they'll spot it at the 49. 1st down, Seattle, 16 yards the gain there. Nothing the score after 1 on EA Sports. Throwing on 1st down is Rodgers. Escaping the pressure right. Got a man. It's Brown. And he'll be tackled on the other side of midfield at the 46-yard line. Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Rodgers. That is incomplete.
I see the surprise in your face there, partner. That is a rare incompletion from him. He's been on point this entire game.
He has percentage completion-wise way up. Not that time. The Seahawks on 3rd down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This will be 3rd and 5. Rodgers to throw once more. And this is going to be incomplete.
Well, partner, so much for the mismatch. How about the guy at the 2nd level, that big linebacker, able to run with the receiver and make a play on the football?
On 4th down, ready to punt, Michael Dixon. And a great job on special teams to down it, as this will be marked out inside the 5-yard line.
That punt was near perfection as it checked up inside the 5-yard line. You never know where these things are going to go, do you?
No, what was it? You got a John Heisman quote about that, right?
Yeah, he said the football is roughly a prolate spheroid, which means it's going to bounce funny, and you never know where it's going to end up.
To Montgomery to begin the drive. And he takes this just about a yard shy of the 20. 16 yards right off the bat and a first down. They had 3 tight ends in on that set, and they were really good at blocking for the running back.
And give them a lot of credit because in football nowadays, tight ends coming out of college often don't block very often. These guys have really developed into superior blockers, and that's why they use them in this formation so often.
So a much rosier picture now after that last play. Here's 1st and 10 at the 19-yard line. Throwing is Stafford. Finds the open man. It's Mike Williams. This will be a gain of about 8 to the 27-yard line. From the 27, Stafford got an open man. It's Michael Gallup. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. 13 yards on his first catch. It's a first down as well.
And that's a more than acceptable read right there because it's zone coverage. So timing is everything. This time he waits for his man to come open, puts it right on him, and they pick up a first down.
First down. Here's the run with Montgomery. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
They've created a nice sustained drive off of plays like that. A nice strong run there. It keeps them advancing the ball.
Six yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4. Now it's Stafford. And he fires one that's intercepted. And the Seahawks are going to take possession of the football. A lot of bodies there in the middle of the field, and that one intercepted.
Yeah, he's looking for his tight end running a drag route across the field, and normally you'd like him to work a little bit further outside. Here the throw's a little early, and it winds up in the hands of the defender.
The Seattle now ready to march onto the field. No points last time out. They were forced to punt, if you remember, but no time to dwell on that. They've still got the lead here and a chance to add to that here. 1st and 10 as this new drive starts. They'll give it to Patterson. And he'll manage to pick up about 4. It's 2nd down.
At the end of all that hitting and hollering, it was a 4-yard run, so the offense is going to go back down and feel pretty good about themselves. Defensively, you have to feel okay because you didn't let it turn into a bigger run, but the goal, shut it down for 2 yards or less. That's when you start to feel good about yourselves.
The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. Tossing out right here to Patterson. And the running lane's non-existent in this first half as they'll stop him behind the line. They call that a loss of 6 yards. And it's 3rd down now.
This defense is really flown around in the first half. They've gotten to the ball carrier before they can really get started. Offense got to come up with something else in order to try and get this running game going.
And the Jags with 5 in the secondary now on 3rd down. Throwing is Rodgers. Complete. Jefferson the target. And he'll go down to the ground at the 39, and obviously that's well short of the first. Call it a gain of 6 on the play, and that'll bring up 4th down.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. So coming on now is the field goal unit. They're going to try for 3, and he'll need all the leg he's got here. And this kick is not going to be close. It's well short, well right to boot, and the lead will hold at 10. Out comes the Jacksonville offense as they get set to take over here.
So now, Charles, this drive maybe a touch more important, trying to erase the memory of that interception they had the last time out.
Yeah, and everyone goes through this because even the best in the game, you're going to have games where it just doesn't go right for you, and interceptions result. So, frankly, to me, it's all about how you respond, not just the types of plays that you call, but how you carry yourself, how you show your team that you're still with it, and how you continue to lead.
Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. They'll start on the ground here on 1st down. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
I have a feeling they'll stay committed to running the football, especially on the early downs. They just haven't had a whole lot of success just yet.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. Here's Stafford. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down.
Looked like both sides were anticipating a quick throw there, and the defense was ready to jump in and deny it, and they did.
The offense on 3rd down tonight, just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 11. Now Stafford. And that is incomplete. Here's Jordan Stout now. Yikes. Terrible kick headed straight for the sideline. So out of bounds on the punt, and the spot will be, the side judge says, right at the 35-yard line here. The Seattle now ready to march onto the field. Last time out, they had that long 50-plus yard field goal that they missed.
And I'm sure on their sideline, they're thinking to themselves, okay, do we still want to try one if we're in that position again? And I would dare say that the answer would be yes. They're going to have a lot of confidence in their kicker. But just to be on the safe side, I'm sure they told their offensive guys, can we get a little bit closer this time?
Closer.
Yeah, I'd rather get in the end zone first and foremost. But if all else fails, less of a field goal attempt for him.
Beginning on the ground with Patterson. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. A gain of 11 to kick off the drive, and it's a quick 1st down.
Absolutely love the run right there. This guy's known for his quickness, but also for his speed. And he's able to get to the second level almost before you blink if you give him any type of blocking. Always talk about slot receivers, and they're usually known as quicker than fast. In this case, we've got a guy who's quick and fast, and he used it to great advantage.
On On first down, going back to Patterson. And he's going to take this across midfield into Jacksonville territory. Tackle is made by Cameron Jordan.
Oh, that was a thing of beauty right there. Look at how quick those blockers fired off the line once the ball was snapped. That was an O-line on a mission, all in sync, and the defense is lucky that play only picked up 5 yards.
From just shy of midfield, Rodgers. And that is taken in by Njoku. And he's going to have another first down as the tackle's made at the Jaguars 19. He got 29 yards that time.
So many times in my career I've heard coaches talk about completions are one thing, but as long as we're there at the catch and we get guys on the ground, we can live with that. But if you're going to give up 10, 12, 15 yards after the catch, then your defense is going to be in a lot of trouble.
So here's a 1st and 10 now, down inside the 20. Into the red zone, it's Rodgers. And that went too far in front. He couldn't reel it in. It's incomplete.
I know coaches tell us all the time that having a powerful arm isn't the #1 thing they look for in a quarterback. But when you're trying to throw inside routes and you need to put some heat on it, it helps have the big gun. In this case, just a little bit too much.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down. Straight ahead, Patterson. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. 2 yards the loss, and now 3rd and 12.
I think sometimes when you're trying to get after the quarterback, maybe it's better to be lucky than great. Because I think on that one, he's just trying to get upfield and rush the passer. Instead, the tackle for the loss landed right in his lap.
They missed a field goal on their last drive. Here they need something to even get into field goal range on 3rd down. Now Rodgers. Touchdown! Justin Jefferson. A 22-yard touchdown grab. And his guy's now an extra point away from taking a 3-score lead. A nice connection there, finding his target, and that'll put 6 up on the board.
Just like they drew it up in their playbook and reiterated it on the sidelines, right? Perfect route, a good throw, and the defense, they had no answer for that right there.
Now Younghoe Koo for the extra point. He's got it, and it's 17-0. A drive that time of 6 plays. And it was all capped off by Justin Jefferson's touchdown reception. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. Fielded just outside the goal line. And able to get this across the 20, but not much further as he's dropped at the 23-yard line. And out now comes Jacksonville as they get ready to go. And we don't want to call this desperation time, especially in the second quarter, but you're down.
Want to.
No, but let me finish.
Okay, my bad.
You're down 3 scores already. You've done nothing offensively, nothing on the scoreboard. That's not a good combination.
I think you just called it desperation time. I think you did. But let's face it, you mentioned this to me in a break earlier in the game. The energy level hasn't been there right from the start. We've noticed that. They've got to find a way to get on their toes and start punching instead of retreating, to use a boxing analogy.
And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's second down. Some of the fans here don't seem too happy about what we've seen in this first half.
No, not at all. And I understand why. They've looked lethargic, out of sync, and it shows on the scoreboard.
Once again, they'll go from the 23-yard line on 2nd and 10. Here's Stafford. He'll leave it for Montgomery, complete. And he'll get to the 29-yard line, brought down there. 5 yards, now it's 3rd and 5.
That might feel like a little bit of a lost opportunity there for the offense because the defense brought pressure that time. And sometimes against that, you can get out to your running back, and it can turn into a big gain downfield. But what a nice job they did getting to him quickly and holding him to a short gain.
From the gun on 3rd down, Stafford. Montgomery, another target and catch. And he is going to have a Jags first down by about a yard. It's a gain of 5 on 3rd and 4.
When you're struggling on offense, you're looking for anything possible to get you going. Sometimes you do it like basketball teams that don't normally press. You put a press on, bring people to life, make them move a little bit quicker. Maybe that'll help them as they head towards the half.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Back to throw, Stafford. Throw right side, complete to Williams. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. It's a gain of 13 for number 13, and it gives him a first down.
Well, these guys have definitely been outplayed in the first half, but I like their countenance. I like the way that they're having panicked out there, the way they're carrying themselves. They're starting to move the ball, and what you have to do, maintain your poise, and start to put together some drives.
And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. A couple of first downs on the drive already, as they'll go from the 47 now on first down. Stafford looks to throw again. Finding Williams once more, complete. And they're going to get this to about the 44-yard line. They're going to need to get up and set in a hurry. To throw again on 2nd down. Stafford. Incomplete, but a penalty flag is down in the backfield. Let's get the call. So that one a hold, right guard.
And you understand why offensive and defensive linemen probably go to martial arts schools and work on their hands so often, because that could be the make or break difference on a play. This time he had to grab a jersey in order to make the play happen. Got caught for the penalty.
They'll come up now on a 2nd and long after the hold. Following the penalty, Montgomery. And a strong run that time as he's across midfield and down to the 43. 11 yards there for Jacksonville and a first down as well.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember the last drive, they went 3 and out.
1st and 10 here. And, you know, if they could just get 3 out of this, there's something about narrowing it to a 2-score game at half that makes it feel like much less of an obstacle. Meanwhile, Stafford's throw pulled in by Renfro. The Jaguars going to go ahead and use their first timeout as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. From the red zone now, Stafford. He finds his man, complete. It's Schultz. And he'll be out of bounds about a half to a full yard shy of the 5. Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another first down.
Just picking up yardage in bunches here these last few plays. They have moved right down the field, and just like that, they're going to be set up with a first and goal.
This is first and goal and a golden chance to get a score back here before halftime. They'll run with Montgomery, and a minuscule gain of maybe a yard from the 6 to the 5. Now another timeout called for by the offense as the clock stops here with 46 seconds remaining in the first half. And the ball smack dab on the 5-yard line. Here's second and goal. To throw is Stafford. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Schultz. And he'll get blown up behind the line of scrimmage, back at the 6. They'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and that'll bring up a third down and goal.
Well, it looked like the defense, they were ready for that one.
Really left him almost no room to work after catching the ball. He could throw every move in the book at him. They were there, and they tackled him for a loss.
This has been a long drive. You got to figure a field goal would be a letdown. Can they convert now on third and goal?
And that ball incomplete, nearly intercepted. Took a chance with that one. It'll lead to a fourth down.
Well, so a drive that spans all that time, and yet you may only come away with 3 points here.
Well, your defense, all right, they actually like these long drives. They get to rest over on the sidelines for a while. But when you're not finishing with points in terms of touchdowns, that's frustrating. They've got to figure out how to close out these long drives and get 6s instead of 3s.
Still trailing here, but they do get the late field goal. Now their defense will try to keep this score right where it is heading into the locker room.
Yeah, and trailing at the break, you obviously don't want to go in off of a negative play. Give them credit for that one. Finding a way to put points on the board. Give them any type of a spark, anything to build off of as they try and plan a comeback.
So not much time to speak of remaining in this first half as the kick's away from the 10. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And with Rodgers behind center, you wonder if they'll take one shot at this. And defensively, they're just looking to keep him contained as they're able to get him down.
It's a gain of 6, and that will be the final play of this first half. So we have come to halftime in what's already a 2-touchdown game. As we now go downstate to Orlando and check in with Jonathan Coachman with our EA Sports Halftime Report.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. Welcome everyone to our brand new studios here in downtown Orlando in the EA Sports Halftime Report. This one has certainly been one-sided to this point. It's a 2-touchdown difference as the teams have already come back out onto the field for the second half. So let's get you back out as well with Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
The Seahawks with the advantage, and they get the football first as the second half is underway.
Takes it at the 7. Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32. The Seahawk offense set to go to begin this third quarter.
And Charles, they've got the lead. Put your coaching hat on here now. What's the game plan for the second half?
I think getting the running game going a little bit more, because I thought in the first half they didn't get it moving the way that they would like. They had success throwing it, but I think these first couple of drives, they'll want to get those running backs going and give them more opportunities, and I will guarantee you that those guys were lobbying for them in the locker room at halftime.
Second half will start with a run by Patterson. And the defense closes quickly there. He'll get maybe a yard to the 33. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
And they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin too.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. To throw, it's Rodgers. Buying time to his left. And he'll protect himself at the end here as he winds up getting pretty decent yardage. They'll give him 8 on the play, and that'll make it 3rd and 1.
The defense did its job of taking away a quick throw, but that's only half the battle, because they've got to get to him before he can make a run for it. A little bit late containing him there, so he makes a nice gain out of a play that looked like it was in trouble.
They'll run with Patterson. And he's going to run into a brick wall right in the middle of the field, and I don't think he got there. No gain there on the play, and that's going to leave him with a 4th down. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
Now here's Michael Dixon as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. And great special teams work here. This is knocking on the door of the 5. They'll spot it at the 6-yard line. And for an offense that is struggling, this is not where you want to start from. Great punt.
Fantastic punt. And for all those who wonder, what do punters do during the course of practice each and every day? The best ones do what we just saw there. Work on positioning the football and helping their team.
They'll start on the ground with Montgomery. And nothing much materializing there on the 1st down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
They know that old expression, it's not my night. It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
Every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. Throwing on 2nd and 8. Stafford, he finds his target. It's Schultz. And they'll get him down up past the 15-yard line. His 5th catch tonight, and it's good for a 1st down.
That was a route run not just with dexterity, but with intelligence. Found the hole in the zone, made sure the quarterback saw him, and was able to make the sure catch and flip the down marker back to 1.
Now a 1st down throw. Stafford. He's going to find and complete it to Renfro. And they're able to get this one across the 35. Another big gainer that time. This one goes for 19 yards.
A couple of 1st downs right in succession, and this is an offense that can really use a good drive, and they're off to a fast start here.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Now Montgomery running right. A beautiful fake. Taken down at the 42.
I feel like I can see what he was thinking on that carry. Wanted to follow that big tackle through the hole. Ended up only getting 4 yards on the carry. I think he had designs on that one being bigger.
Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Schultz. And they'll get this down here around the 47-yard line.
It's taken a while for this offense to get going. A little creaky at the start, but they're oiled up now. A nice throw there, and they're really putting together a good drive.
Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10. From the gun, it's a give to Montgomery. And they go backwards here, losing yardage back at the 48-yard line. They'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
I see a shake of the head as he gets up, and you've got to imagine he's thinking, guys, you got to help me out. He's hoping his team can read his thoughts because he definitely needs some assistance.
Maybe just a slight detour on what's been a strong drive. Here's 2nd and 11. Stafford now to throw. He finds his man complete. It's Lloyd. And that'll wind up moving the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the Seahawks 37. 11 yards there for Jacksonville and a first down as well.
Now what we're seeing, this is much better from this offense because so far in this game, no touchdown to this point. And what's usually a direct correlation? Very few explosive plays. That's been their issue. Not able to make that big shot downfield or break one off, but a nice game there for a first down.
And this throw a bit late as he couldn't reach back for it.
What would look like a march to the end zone has hit a momentary roadblock with that incompletion. No need to panic. They just got to come up with a high percentage play call and see if they can get their offense back on track.
Line of scrimmage, again the 37 as they line up 2nd and 10. Montgomery back to the ground. And he's going to get this pretty close to a first down as the tackle is made at the Seahawks 30. 42 yards on the ground for him so far.
Not too many offenses want to turn down long drives, but when you're down what they are, they've got to pay it off with some points.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. They'll run it. Here's Montgomery. And he's able to pick up the first before he's taken down at the 27. Give him 3 yards and a fresh set of downs.
I haven't met a football team yet that runs the ball successfully that doesn't talk about having an attitude to be a running football team, right? You got to be able to put your nose in there, smell where the first down sticks are, and get there.
On first down, Stafford here. That's Gallup on the slant. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. 18 yards there, and it'll be a 1st and goal.
I'll tell you what, this offense is playing a little bit of keep away right now. They've come out here in the 3rd quarter, possessed the ball for quite a while, and they keep on converting. Nice pitch and catch there to set up the 1st and goal.
First and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. Going up the gut, Montgomery. And not able to break away this time as they're going to stop him right around the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of a yard there, and it's 2nd down.
This is a critical sequence here for this offense. Things really haven't gone their way so far. This could be their chance to get back into it, but they've got to find a way to punch this ball in.
Moved back to the 10. They'll try on 2nd and goal here. Looking to throw. Stafford. He rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Picked up by Xavier Howard. He's at the 50. The 30. 10. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. And Charles, for this offense, those interception woes they kind of had in the first half have now followed them into the second half. And for this defense, they take advantage, turn that into a pick six.
And that defense is in a spot now where they're thinking about ways to close this game out. And as confidently as they've been playing, I expect them to do exactly that.
Coup for the extra point. And the lead now to 3 touchdowns at 21 points. A heck of a play there defensively, getting the interception, navigating his way into the end zone for the touchdown. So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. This one fielded at the 5. And a decent return out to the 27-yard line. They were trying to create some space to run. They created the penalty.
And you work on it so much. You work on it so hard. But it's tough to simulate game speed in practice. That often runs you into a penalty.
So now factoring in the face mask, here's 1st and 10. They'll fake the give. Now Stafford. Open man, that's Renfro. And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. A nice gain of 21 yards.
Well, we talk all the time about playing situational football, and right now I think the scoreboard is dictating what they need to do. Where they are in this game, they've got to push the ball downfield, take their shots, try and get big chunks of yardage in a short amount of time. That was a nice play there.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Up the middle, it's Montgomery. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. 2nd down.
Not a huge carry there on 1st down, but not all of them will be. But still, all in all, a positive play for the offense. It's all about picking up at least a few to set up what you're going to do here on 2nd down.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. Back to throw. Stafford. Over the middle, complete. That's Schultz. And that'll wind up moving the chains again as a tackle is going to be made at the Seahawks 23. That'll give him 60 yards receiving now as he's got a 1st down.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. And that's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
Stafford on 1st down. They'll set up the screen to Montgomery. No gain on the screen there at 2nd down.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly. A 2nd and 10 forthcoming here. 3rd quarter action from Jacksonville. Looking to throw. Stafford. Throw left side, complete. That's Montgomery. And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5. 18 yards that time to push him up 1st and goal.
You have to ask the question, where was the help? Because it's a little surprising to me that he'd find that much room to run this close to the end zone. He doesn't quite get there, but he sets his guys up with a 1st and goal.
They'll try the middle with Montgomery. A pickup of 4 on first down. It'll be 2nd and goal. We have played 3 quarters. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now in Jacksonville. A lot of folks starting to make their way to the parking lot. Their guys trail big here to begin quarter number 4. So they've been in the red zone 3 times, and it's yielded just 3 points. Can they find the end zone here on 2nd and goal? Once more, Montgomery. And he'll take this one in for a Jags touchdown. David Montgomery punching it in from a yard away. And the Jaguars are finally into the end zone here in this 4th quarter. So a little bit of a letdown there defensively. I mean, look, you're still 2 scores to the good, CD, but things may be a little more uncomfortable than they had hoped.
Yeah, if you kept them out of the end zone there, this game's over. You've locked the door on them. Instead, it's still open a little bit, and they've got a puncher's chance.
Riley Patterson now for the extra point. And this is up and good. That'll make it a score now of 24-10. So that winds up a 7-play drive all told. And it was David Montgomery's touchdown run that polished it all off. Back out there to send this one away. Taking it about the 1. And makes it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. And the Seahawks get ready to trot out on the field. Now, there are 2 scores on the plus side. Still time here in this 4th quarter, but maybe you start thinking about playing keep away?
Yeah, I think here's the situation. You're not thinking touchdowns anymore. You're just thinking first downs. To keep up with your theme there, playing keep away, first downs, they can't touch the ball.
Now Patterson to start the drive. And he'll get this up to the 34-yard line. 10 yards and a Seattle first down. And I think we can get used to seeing more of that in this 4th quarter, especially if they're having success on the ground like they did there.
Yeah, I think back when we met with the head coach in preseason, and all he talked about was building a bully. And I think it was this situation he was envisioning. Trying to ice a game, plenty of time left, but being able to give the ball to his big runner and pound away and try and finish off a game.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. 1st and 10, it's Patterson. And this will be a Seahawks first down as he's got this up to the 45-yard line. And I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely. You want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Do they have to use timeouts? What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. Again, Patterson. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. On second down, a run with Patterson. And he's going to take this across midfield into Jacksonville territory.
On any running play that's called, they're always hoping that it's going to break big and go the distance. But when you get a nice game like that, you're able to do so many things anyway. You can come back and run essentially the same play again, continue to move the ball on the ground, or you can decide to throw the ball now because usually you have the defense back on its heels.
Rodgers got an open man finding Jefferson. And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. It'll go as an impressive 31-yard gain. Boy, another big play late here for an offense, Charles, that certainly has had its fair share of big plays.
Coverage has been a problem all game long, and I would say that going along with that has been confidence. Because even if they had the right coverage, they've still dented them, and now it's been a real issue for them during this game.
So the big play means just like that, they'll operate from the red zone now on first down. Rodgers going to throw. And this nearly an interception, but it's incomplete. Well, a turnover really would have helped him there, but not to be.
That certainly appeared to be a play call where they were just trying to make second down, second and short. I think they thought the coverage was off a little bit more than it was. Nice job there pressing up on it and forcing the incompletion.
Rodgers again here on 2nd and 10. This one brought in by Jefferson. Down he goes at the 10 with a solid pickup of 8.
Fired that one in there, able to make connection on a nice in route.
With those faster passes when they're going that fast, any hesitation as a quarterback that the deflection, if you miss, might be bigger and lead to an interception?
Yeah, and the deflection works both ways. Maybe a defender gets a hand in the way and it pops in the air. And sometimes you throw it so hard your receiver can't handle it, and he pops it up in the air for the defenders to grab as well.
But a moot point there as they were able to connect. And the Seahawks are going to have 1st and goal as they try to finish off this drive with 6 points.
And sometimes when you run a screen pass down in the red zone, it's really tough to create a lot of room to operate. The field's pretty condensed, but that was really well designed there, and they're able to pick up a first down.
A good chance now to put this game on ice. This is 1st and goal. Rodgers again now. Oh, this one incomplete. The pressure got to him as he released it. And it's 2nd down.
I think he had to unload that one before he wanted to. He was right up in his grill. I think he was a dentist there without a license, don't you?
Just not enough time for the play to develop. Just lucky it wasn't a fumble, really. They come up here with another shot from the 6-yard line, and it's 2nd and goal now. On 2nd down, a run with Hall. And he will score. Touchdown, Seattle. Breece Hall, a 6-yard touchdown run. And the Seahawks have put this one to bed here in the 4th quarter. I've heard you use the term put-away drive, and that right there seemed like the definition of a put-away drive.
Yeah, it certainly just pops right up out of the book, doesn't it? Because up 2 scores already, just wanted to possess the football, keep converting and picking up first downs, and if the drive ends in 3 points, that's terrific. If it ends in a touchdown, fantastic.
Coup now for the point after. And the lead now to 3 touchdowns and 21 points. A 10-play drive that time. And it was capped off by a Breece Hall touchdown run. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. Fielded right around the 8. And up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. This offense back out and set to go for their next drive. Where we stand right now in the fourth quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3. Out of the gun, Stafford. He's going to find Gallup here complete. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. A 14-yard first down pickup for the Jaguars. A 3-score game here late. You can probably rule out the comeback, but certainly some kind of a moral victory to be had if they can get a few more points to close things out. And to that end, a nice pass play there to push things downfield.
Yeah, and we know in this league, a loss is a loss, and no one wants anything to count as a moral victory or, boy, something that feels a little bit cheap. But if they trim that lead down to just 2 scores, that's still a benefit to this squad.
That one goes for 24 yards. Well, those are the types of plays they probably wish they had made more of in the first 3 quarters. And this deficit going to be tough to overcome here in the fourth. But a nice first down and a pickup on that throw.
Yeah, and this is where, as coaches, you're looking for effort and execution. Even though the scoreboard is going against you, you want to find out who's going to fight, who's going to scrap, who's going to keep their heads up and continue to play.
So from Seahawk territory now, it's 1st and 10 as they're down to the 29-yard line. Now Montgomery, he's got it on the draw. And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the first down run. He gets maybe 3.
Well, that call makes sense because they've been throwing it well on this drive, and once again they show passing formation, showing the shotgun. Then they ran out of it. That's a nice play by them defensively, though, to hold it to a short gain.
3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. Back to throw. Stafford. Williams brings it in. And he's brought down after a very nice gain. A good pickup there, 26 yards.
Well, I can put my defensive cap on right now, and I know they're saying don't give up any big plays now. They've controlled this game throughout, and all they want to do is see it through to the end. I think they let their guard down a little bit with that last completion. Sometimes when you're trying not to give up bigger plays, you don't react as fast as you should on other throws.
Montgomery, and he'll actually lose a little bit of yardage here. Back to the 2. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
That's a really alert defense there because they saw the heavy look come in from the offense, countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed and heft, and able to really make a big-time play for their defense.
Back at the 2 now. Here's 2nd and goal. And they'll run again. And he takes it in. Touchdown, Jacksonville. David Montgomery with his 2nd touchdown of the night. And the Jaguars have got it back to a 2-score game here in the 4th. Well, they needed 3 scores to have any chance. There's the first of the 3 as they get into the end zone.
Yeah, Brandon, I think that our guys at Next Gen Stats in charge of the win probability are probably saying your chances still aren't great. But now, you still got more than 3 minutes to go. You got to focus on the task at hand, which is going to be getting the football back as quickly as possible.
Patterson now for the extra point. And the lead will be cut down to 14. Seahawks, and the drive winds up going 75 yards in 7 plays. And it was David Montgomery's touchdown run that polished it all off. Two scores down, 3 timeouts left. Still a chance if they can somehow get this one back. And the Seahawks, looks like they've recovered. They have. Fourth quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
Patterson, he'll try it up the middle. And he's going to get this inside the 30. 67 yards for him on the ground now on 18 carries. And when do they start thinking about burning these timeouts? They've got all 3 still defensively.
To me, you have to start right now. Here's the time, and that means you've got to stop them on defense, not give up the yardage, use your timeouts in order to get the ball back and try and score yourself. But now is the time to start using those timeouts.
And keep in mind, it'll also stop the clock at the 2-minute warning. On first down, going back to Patterson. Credited with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
Absolutely love the effort there. The ability to flow from his inside spot and stop that one at the line of scrimmage. Nice linebacker play.
2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So it's Seahawk football as we march toward a conclusion. And you'd have to figure they're just looking to burn these final 2 minutes away and get out of here with a victory. So 2nd and 9, and you'd have to figure just about all 11 probably crashing the line here. Give to Hall running right. So fresh out of the 2-minute warning, and here's another timeout taken with 1:55 remaining. Now, this is a big 3rd down, and you'd have to think we'd see a timeout right away if they can't stop him here. Throwing now is Rodgers. Throw right side is going to be caught by Judy. Now the Jags will use the 2nd of their timeouts. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play. So the ball down to the 16 here for 1st and 10. Straight ahead, Patterson. Now the defense will burn their 3rd and final timeout as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play. They'll go again with Patterson. And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. It's a good gain of 11. Sets him up first and goal.
At carries like that, that's how they're going to continue to salt this thing away here, Charles, in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, how about that? A new set of downs. Clock continues to move. No better way to close out a game than to tap those mastodons you have up front and say, guys, keep pounding them. Let's keep the ball, keep their offense on the sidelines, and let's close this one out.
A good chance now to put this game on ice. This is first and goal. The Seahawks in victory formation as they go ahead and take the knee. If nothing else, they've already taken a couple minutes off the clock here already as they come up second down. Rodgers will take a knee here, and that should be all she wrote.
Yeah, it's fun to kneel down in front of your home crowd, but when you go on the road, that band of brothers attitude, right? Just us against the world and get it done. How happy are they?
I remember a coach at a previous stop telling me, you get a win on the road, doesn't matter the opponent, get out of there like you stole something. And they did in this one. So the victory here for Seattle. And we talk so much about the turnover battle, determining who wins, who loses. This game, no exception. Air-free football, no turnovers at all, and they win it.
So this is one you don't have to convince your team that what you're saying is accurate. And you know what I'm talking about. Head coach always stands up in front of the team and says, guys, if we do this, this, and this, we'll win. And usually they say if we win the turnover battle, we'll win. Well, here's the proof right there. Win the turnover battle, go on to victory. Now the guys believe. You move on to the next lesson where you have to convince them. This one is now planted.
That'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our hardworking crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, find us on Twitter at EA Madden NFL. From Jacksonville, good night, everybody.